It's another Ladbrokes Social Club after a weekend in which Rangers and Celtic were both winners. We saw important victories as well for St Johnstone, Ross County and Aberdeen. The best of the social media reaction to all of those matches to come. Daniel Cos on the show, as you can see.
Hello, Darryl. All right, guys.
We're also going to be talking Duncan Ferguson. Is he the man to lead Everton forwards? We've got the Knicks manager odds for you. Plus, we'll hear from the Ladbrokes Premiership Player of the Month for November. A lot to get through. Stephen Craigan here as well.
Nice to be here.
Good, excellent. Alex Rae with us.
Thank you, Dan.
And I hear you've been doing a bit of running this week, and I think a lovely photo you've posted. So
Very scenic.
Oh, very nice, boys. Yeah, absolutely. It's just round the waterworks at Mulgai. You know that well from your neck of the woods, and it's been great. It's just the first couple of days of trying to get into marathon training over the next 20 weeks.
Is that right?
Yeah, we're doing the London Marathon in April, so for the Erskine Trust, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Good for you. Absolutely brilliant. Excellent. Get another round of applause for that.
Sponsorship shoot will be in next week.
Hundreds of them, isn't there? You really do so many. Anyway, let's get to the Europa League draw. It was made earlier today. I think both sides of the Glasgow divide are pretty pleased, Daniel.
Only place to start, as you say, Europa League draw. I think Celtic very happy, drawing Copenhagen, second in the Danish Super League, behind Midtjylland, who obviously Rangers are very familiar with. But yeah, very happy reaction on social media. If we draw your attention here to Liam at the bottom, Liam Copenhagen, winnable tie definitely, but we'll have to bankrupt ourselves to buy a pint.
That's the problem, isn't it? Great city. My word, it's pricey, Alex.
You says it's one of your favourite cities, but you have to take a mortgage out just to go for a couple of days. But in terms of absolutely.
Steady.
I actually think when you consider the possibilities of the draws it could have been, I think this is a very favourable draw. And as Dan says, you know, Midtjylland are above them. Is it 7 points?
7 points at the moment.
Clear, yes, I know they have a game in hand, Copenhagen, but you have to say it's a good draw.
Yeah, well, you'd like to think that they're favourites going into the game, Celtic. I think when you get through, you want something where it gives you an opportunity to get in the last 16. And I think the way Celtic have played this season, particularly away from home, I think the maturity they've showed in games, you know, even the qualifiers into the group stages, they will be more than confident of beating Copenhagen.
Their game in hand is tonight as well, we've said. So, I think you've also noticed there's a winter break ahead of the time, which could be vital.
I think they play tonight against Odense,
right?
And I think their next game then is the 16th of February, and in the first leg of the last 32 is the 20th.
Yeah.
So they've got a long break, which means could favour Celtic.
And Malmo topped their group as well. They lost to the Swedish outfit.
And just a couple of familiar faces. Familiar faces in the Copenhagen ranks. Nicholas Bentner's one. Victor Fischer, who was the next big thing in Danish football, who's Ajax and linked to Real Madrid. Damien Doy, who's been at Sunderland, Hull.
Brian, he had a nightmare at Sunderland. Oh, don't mention him.
He's been mentioned, it's too late.
And
a few have had a nightmare.
True.
Brian Oviedo, he was at Everton as well, left back.
So that was Celtic. As for Rangers, Sporting Braga came out the hat, and again, I think their fans think this is a great tie for them.
9th in the Portuguese league, and obviously when you consider that Rangers took 4 points off Porto in the group,
they beat them.
The fans are pretty happy, I think. If you look at Kevin, the top two, Braga is definitely a winnable tie for us. Get through that and hope for a glamour tie. Buzzing for it though. I think that sums it up quite well for Rangers fans.
But again, it's winnable.
Yeah, without doubt.
There's no doubt.
When you saw the potential names, you think Rangers were runners up in their group. They were maybe fearing
because their league form is also false compared to the Europa League form. Because they topped the group with Wolves in it, they beat Wolves and they drew with Wolves. So you think how well they've been playing, and the kind of form they've been in. To beat Wolves, so I think there's a little bit of caution, but certainly
absolutely 1-1 at Molineux. In fact, I think you've seen them, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen them in the summer play Millwall in a pre-season friendly. Actually, they didn't get a kick, Millwall. They passed them to death, and I thought this is a right good footballing team. And I agree with Stephen. I think domestically they've been kind of huffing and puffing. But when there are certain teams that will be suited to this particular style, counter-attacking. So I think it's a tough draw, but it could have been a lot tougher.
Could have been.
I think the mood. Ibrox Law's a really big Rangers account on Twitter. If their tweet, we slap Porto about nearly won the group. SC Braga are currently 9th in the Portuguese league. Absolutely winnable games. Last 16 needs to be the aim. But I would just say, as you just said there, need to preach a bit of caution. It'll be a little bit more dangerous than just a straightforward tie, I think.
Slap Porto about a bit much.
Yeah, no, I know.
And the word that stands out is nearly.
Nearly, exactly.
So take it as it is.
I think overall on social media, Darryl, the mood is very positive amongst the Glasgow fans.
And if they both get through, last 16's an open draw.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dan, you've got a prediction, have you?
I don't know. I don't really know why it's based on nothing. I think they're going to get each other in the last 16.
Well, if it goes, Terry, your predictions week in, week out here, there's no chance.
Unbelievable.
I walked right in. Do you know, he says to me before, he says, here, say that on the show.
Oh,
Say
shut
that.
up.
He says, say that on the show.
I'm setting you up.
Set me up.
It's terrible. Have a word with him.
Well, I tell you what, we can get some immediate reaction to that. In fact, a little bit earlier on, I spoke to Rangers Greg Stewart. Greg Stewart, thank you very much for being on the Ladbrokes Social Club. First of all, I think you should explain. The Santa hat's on. What's going on?
No, we're here in Glasgow's Children's Hospital today. The team's come to try and put a few smile on kids' faces, so it's been a good day so far.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done to all of you for doing that. I think we all appreciate that. Yeah. Well done to everyone involved with Rangers there. The Europa League draw was made this morning. Can I start with that? Braga, out the hat. What do you think?
No, I think it's a good draw for us. Every game it was going to be difficult, no matter who you got. There's a bit of a mixed bag in the changing room, wanting the big boys like Inter Milan's and teams in England. But no, I think it's a good draw for us and a chance to get through.
And you've obviously had a taste of European football in the group stage this year. How much have you enjoyed that? And I'm sure you're so keen to be involved in the next tie, of course.
I've had about 20 minutes, I think.
You did, young boys, yeah.
No, it's, as I say, the team's performed really well in Europe this season. I think most of our best performances have been in Europe. So we'll take a lot of confidence into that into February when the games start back.
A few questions, I think, on the floor. Let me give you Stephen Craigan first of all over there.
Greg, how are you doing? You touched on it yourself there, 20 minutes of European football. Has it been slightly frustrating in general with the amount of minutes you've had, or are you still adapting to being at Rangers?
No, I'd be lying to say I wasn't disappointed not to play more minutes, but the team's been performing well, so it has been difficult to get a run of games, but I'll just keep on working hard personally in the training ground, and when the chances come I just need to try and be ready.
What about obviously disappointed with the cup final, Greg, and the response against Young Boys getting through to the last 32, and then obviously the weekend yesterday against Motherwell. How important was that for you as a group to kind of kick on there?
No, it was massive for us to get back to winning ways yesterday. We spoke about it before the game, about the next 4 games. They're huge. I felt like we performed well in the last 3 games, but we never really got the rewards for it, which was a bit disappointing from our behalf. But as I say, we spoke about before yesterday that we must get 9 points before we go into the last game before the winter break. So we've started well there and just try and take one game at a time.
I think that is the key, isn't it? Everyone has to stay positive, and you take a lot from the performances and also the manager as well, the response from the club. He signed a contract extension. I assume there's a lot of people in the dressing room who are very happy about that.
No, as I say, we just want to keep on improving. And it's obviously good to see Alan and Stephen sign another deal as well. They obviously know the club. They've been here and done it before, and they've got the know-how, which helps the players that's learning.
I know the guys have mentioned playing time. Stephen's mentioned that as well. But do you also feel some of the games you have come in, I mean, you've made an impact. You've got goals like the Hearts game at Ibrox last time out, obviously comes to mind as well. Do you feel like you've made the right impact when you have played?
I always believe in myself when I get the opportunity to try and do my best. So it is nice when you get the shout to start, or when you come off the bench and you can contribute to the team. It is always nice. So for me, it's just a case of just keep on working hard, and when the chances come, I need to make sure I'm ready.
And Easter Road next Friday, as you know, no Morelos for you guys. He'll be suspended. And another game you feel like you probably just need to win all the way until you play Celtic again. I think everyone is must win, isn't it?
No, it's a game. It's another game we're looking forward to. Obviously, Jack's came in at Hibs, and he's got them. He's got points on the board since he's came in, which has been good for them. So we know it's going to be a difficult game, but as I say, we need to go into that game fully confident and make sure we try and get the job done. And
final one from me then: how much have you enjoyed this experience so far, being a Rangers player?
It's been really good. We've not got nothing to show for it yet, but it's been a different level for where I've been at in my career. So, as I say, I just keep on working hard, and then hopefully I can get the rewards at the end.
Top man. Listen, well done today again. Thanks for doing all that good work, and thank you also for speaking to us in the Ladbrokes Social Club.
Nice one.
And you've got some more odds for us as well.
Absolutely, some big odds after the draw. So, Celtic to win the Europa League. I know a lot of Celtic fans out there are dreaming of the final in Gdansk in Poland.
It's all right, the set's just broken. On you go,
The
mate.
roof's caved in. Celtic to win 40-1 to win the Europa League if you fancy it.
The jaws just dropped over there when you were talking about Celtic to win the Europa League.
I know.
40-1.
If you fancy Rangers, 80-1.
Oh, value.
80-1.
What you think about value there, do you?
Yeah, I think 80-1's.
But that changed, didn't it?
It did change. They were 66-1 before the draw.
66-1.
Craigs has done his research.
No, but I just think that's a strange one because you would think that Braga is a winnable tie for Rangers.
Yeah.
You thought the odds would have been maintained or maybe even a drop, but to go up, you would think then that Ladbrokes must think that Braga are favourites to go through.
A genuine good value bet. I know you're being a bit facetious there, but good value bet.
Me?
Alfredo Morelos, current top scorer in the competition, 6 goals, one ahead of Bruno Fernandes at Sporting Lisbon. For Morelos to finish the competition as top scorer, 4-1.
You'd imagine they'd have to go quite far into the competition though
Well,
for that to happen.
the reality is if he does well against Braga and they get through, potentially he could nick another couple. So, but you're looking at 10, 11 would be the top scorer in this
Top scorer
competition.
last season was 11. So you can't be
Their knowledge.
I know I'm being I'm really
11's a long way off when he's on 6.
Of course, aye.
You know, considering the bigger team's still in the competition for
Of course, aye.
You know, but listen, the credit to him for getting 6, and I think he had 8 in the qualifying. So we get 14, 14 European goals in total this season.
I'm going to come back to Morelos in just a wee moment, but the English team's obviously in that draw as well.
Just
Who
very
did
quickly.
they get?
So Wolverhampton, they've drawn Espanyol, who are
Absolutely fabulous.
Close
draw.
to your heart, Wolves.
Stone bottom of the La Liga,
Yeah.
Espanyol. So I think in terms of draws, that's as good as you're going to get.
Man United, Club Brugge, who just dropped at the Champions League, got a draw in the Bernabeu, of course,
They did.
earlier in the season.
They played really well there.
Arsenal have got Olympiacos, who have also dropped out. And just another odd to throw at you, Man United are currently the favourites with Ladbrokes to win the whole competition at 11-2.
Okay, I said I'd get back to Morelos. Going back to the weekend matches.
Yes.
First of all, very big, important victory for Rangers at Motherwell. But on social media, Daniel, everybody now talking about Morelos after the red card.
On social media, the word Morelos and agenda was trending in the Glasgow area yesterday. So that seems to be the overall theme. The top tweet there from, I think it's Faisal. The agenda against Morelos is next level. He's a baller. He's a baller that you, man, just won't understand. I'm not up with the lingo, Dan, I'm sorry.
No.
And Megan, of course, at the bottom. The agenda against Morelos from Scottish football continues. Absolute disgrace.
Well, listen, you have to take Stephen Gerrard's account of things afterwards as well. He came out and says he's no complaints about it. When you see the actual gesture, I've actually been in the radio station I work for as well over the piece, and whenever someone like Scott Brown, Neil Lennon, Morelos does it, everybody screams for the rooftops depending what team you're on. And listen, when you're on a red card, yellow card, you're giving the referee that decision to make, and unfortunately he's paid the price. And the thing is, and this will take centre stage, this guy is absolutely on fire. You know, with the amount of goals that he scored, he was a catalyst yesterday. Rangers started the game very slow. He done a few bits and bobs, and then all of a sudden it became him and Gillespie again. You know, it was similar to last week, but he got the breakthrough later on in the game. And listen, I know he's going to be kind of getting battered for pillar to post for certain quarters, but it's an emotional response as well to a lot of abuse. So they have to get factored in, but he's obviously going to pay the price against Hibs at the weekend.
Just the way up the mood on social media, not everyone was kind of obviously promoting the agenda line. Grant on Twitter, Morelos' second yellow was 100% a second yellow. Don't know why or don't know how to defend it. Other players have gotten away with it over the last few seasons, and that's down to the officials.
Which I think is the key bit.
Absolutely. It's a good point, yeah.
But ultimately, that is a celebration. If you watch a lot of the goals he scores, but if you do it in front of your own fans, it isn't inflammatory because they're with you. If you do it in front of the away fans,
means, because as you say, it's been all over social media. He has done it at Ibrox to Rangers fans as well.
Which is that's fine. If he had turned around to the South Stand at Fir Park and done it in front of the Rangers fans, he wouldn't have been sent off. But because he went towards the Motherwell fans, he had a couple of gestures. He gave them the whatever it stands for. I think we know what it stands for.
We're all
it wasn't like I leave that was aimed at me.
So and it wasn't done in a friendly way of we're both in the same corner here. So
we can't condone, by the way, hot drinks being thrown on it. That looked awful.
That has been a problem. Let's be honest, not just at Motherwell. That's been a problem throughout the game.
Absolutely.
You think back in the Rangers fans when the referee at Livingston, the referee's assistant at Livingston get hit in the head with something.
That's right,
Aberdeen a couple of weeks ago, James Tavernier, it was a pie landed beside him.
Hibs
and Hearts, Motherwell, and I have to say it happened previously to James Tavernier at Motherwell, and they suspended the supporter, and he's now banned from Fir Park. And Motherwell will do everything to make sure that supporter is banned again. So clubs can only react after. Beforehand, it's an individual decision. Motherwell fans or football clubs can't stop it before it happens, because sometimes you just spur the moment. But it is horrendous and shouldn't be in the game. Absolutely.
Exactly, one point maybe will get rid of it for good. Katic as well was trending, wasn't he, at one point? A good goal he scored for Rangers, but I think the fans are quite liking the fact he's back in the team.
He was trending nationally across the country. If I draw your attention to the foreign Rangers fan in the bottom there, Helander is clearly a very good footballer, but by God, how can anyone not just love the hell out of Katic? What a player, gives everything, mental, hard man, love it all.
Darryl, I watched Katic after a game. It was against Motherwell, I think it was, and he never got on the pitch. And afterwards, you know what it's like after the game, you know, you're going through the motions and things. I watched a guy who was totally dedicated to what he was doing. He was pounding. The other subs didn't come out, so it was almost as if he was doing extra, and you can clearly see the desire he has to succeed, and you can see it in the way he plays. He has that hunger, and it's infectious, and that's the reason why Rangers have given him a new contract.
Sorry, Darryl, just very quickly, Greg Chalmers, the top tweet here. This is something that's come up on social media quite a lot. Katic must be the first choice centre-back now. What do you guys think?
As a centre-half, do you think Helander gets back in? I mean, he's clearly been the automatic selection.
If he keeps up the form of the last couple of games, then no, he won't, because Katic has been excellent, but you've got to remember, he's still a young man, you know, and by the time you mature as a proper centre-half and you learn the read of the game, it can take you into your mid to late 20s. So he's probably ahead of where he should be at this moment in time, but it's desire, and it's games like yesterday away from home.
You need it.
When you're down to 10 men and the opposition are throwing balls into the box, they need that kind of presence to go and head the ball away, and I think Katic certainly meets that.
The will to win. As for Celtic, another good victory for them as well against Aberdeen at home by 2-0. I think a few things on social media were trending, but none bigger than Jeremy Frimpong again.
I feel like we're doing this to death, Darryl. Every week it's Jeremy Frimpong
Got
show.
to do it though.
Exactly, but here we are, hashtag Ladbrokes Social Club, Jeremy Frimpong is already a better right back than James Tavernier could ever dream of being. Outstanding performance again, a big shout.
Let's get the immediate reaction to that then.
Look at his face.
It's a bit ambitious. Tavernier's been doing it for numerous years now, and he continues to do it. And but what you will say about Frimpong is he's a breath of fresh air, isn't he? You know, oh my days, exactly. That should be trending.
I should say I actually got a bit of stick after this show a few weeks ago on my personal Twitter.
You got stick shocker?
I know. I said that I thought Frimpong would be the next £15-20 million Celtic sale, and he'd only played about 5 games at the time. But Celtic Jamie here, Frimpong's that good. I really believe he could go all the way and end up at any club. I think we all know this time he will go, just like we did with Virgil. These players really stand out. In the meantime, I'm loving him at our club, and he will play a massive part of 10 in a row.
I think he's tweeted as well, oh my days hashtag.
Well, I think with, you know, oh my days and all, and his interviews and his personality, what we have to look beyond that kind of side of it is he's a smashing footballer.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that gets forgotten.
Yeah.
His energy, you know, I know people have spoken about can he defend. Well, there's not many have got past him so far.
Well, he did that in the Cup final.
Exactly, his test
before he
keep
got sent
arriving.
off.
He was Celtic's most influential player in that first half.
Yeah.
Against Rangers in the Cup final. His energy, his appetite, his quality, getting goals. So I think look beyond the kind of clouded, you know, he's a joyful character. He's a smashing player.
I actually don't think Celtic had envisaged him being where he's at the moment, because you obviously brought in, you know, the 2 other guys, experienced internationals, and all of a sudden this wee fella's actually just gone to another level. And I think Neil Lennon said a couple of weeks ago that he takes the team to another level, which is great praise.
I think he said just it's one of the best young players he's ever worked with.
Yeah,
He did. It's a huge praise.
And just very, very finally, Frimpong, the Celtic wiki. If I was a Celtic player, I'd be praying I got Frimpong the Secret Santa draw, because no matter what you buy him, you know he'll be absolutely ecstatic with it.
You get him a new suit for a £5.
A few tweets on Edouard as well. We won't go mad on this. He's just coming back from injury, as we know. He made a difference in the League Cup final when he came on. But I think he's building himself up, as reflected in the top tweet there, Daniel.
Absolutely, the top tweet. Widely agreed that Edouard wasn't match fit and still scored, assisted, and was one of the best players in the park. The guy is truly exceptional. And Georgios, we are an infinitely better team with Edouard up top.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
No doubt about it. I just think his link-up play, his runs in behind, his clever movement, he almost frees up space for the other wide players to go and exploit, because he attracts defenders to him, he drags people out of position. He did have a couple of chances yesterday which, you know, if he had been fully fit, you know, potentially he should have scored, but, you know, there's no doubt he's a top class player. Really good.
He seems to make the difference over and over again. Not the best of days for Hibs, although they did stay in the game. Next time round for them, of course, it's Rangers at Easter Road Friday, which we've made our game of the week, and the odds 11-2 for the home win there. Rangers obviously
Good
the big
value,
favourites.
I think that's good value. The only thing is, I thought 6-1 for Motherwell last week was really good value, and Rangers strolled it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if Morelos may well have a bearing on this. You know, obviously suspended.
But that's
but
the thing,
yeah. Defoe is actually a very good replacement. I think he's...
It changes the style of play, doesn't
absolutely,
it?
yeah.
You know, because Rangers at times, when you're under pressure, if you throw it forward, you know with Morelos it's going to stick or he's going to... Defoe doesn't have that kind of...
Yeah.
So it might have to force Rangers to be more precise in their decision making.
Other thing I'd just very quickly draw your attention to is I know Rangers lost to Celtic at home, but I don't think they've lost away from home in the Premiership this season.
That's correct, yeah.
So very hard to beat away from home, Rangers.
In good news for Hibs, the Ladbrokes Premiership Player of the Month for November is...
Christian Doidge.
It is, and we can hear from him right now.
This is the Ladbrokes Premiership Player of the Month award for November, and it goes to Chris Doidge of Hibs. Here you go.
Very much.
What an amazing month you had. 6 goals in November. Your first league goals for Hibs as well.
Yeah, I was obviously waiting for that goal for a little while, and to get the 3 in that first game against St Johnstone, it set me up pretty well for the month, and managed to go on a bit of a run.
Do you feel you've answered your critics with those goals?
Yeah, I suppose a little bit, but I've got a lot more I want to achieve this season. Obviously, I had a good month. I'm hopefully going to push on and score a lot more goals for the club.
Change of manager, obviously. Paul Hickingbottom signed you. It's now Jack Ross. What's possible, do you think, for Hibs between now and the end of the season?
I think obviously we're going to try and stay in that top 6 and try and push as high as we can. I know 3rd and 4th are probably not too far away, and to get that European spot would be great for the football club.
And a goals target, you're fancying 6 every month?
Oh yeah, I'd like to think so, but football doesn't really go like that, unfortunately. But try and get in the right places at the right time and hopefully put them away.
He is the Ladbrokes Premiership Player of the Month, Chris Doidge of Hibs.
No wonder he's happy at the moment. I mean, what a month that was. 6 goals.
I know. It's interesting that when the manager changes over, suddenly guys who have been struggling couldn't find form. In his first game after Paul Hickingbottom leaves, he gets a hat-trick.
Yeah.
And it's kicked on from then. And there's no doubt centre-forwards thrive in scoring goals. Of course they do. But it builds them up to feel good about themselves. Canberra now is again at times spent slightly on the left. So he's the #1 striker, so fair play to him.
I swear as well, as soon as Heckingbottom was toast, I thought, that's Doidge done. Out my fantasy team. Ever since, banging him in.
As soon as you take anyone out, they perform, in fairness.
You're welcome, Christian.
Should we go across Edinburgh now?
Absolutely.
And talk about Hearts, who lost under Daniel Stendhal at the weekend. I think everybody was expecting the bounce. They certainly didn't see it after about 5-10 minutes. I think they went back to maybe the level they'd been performing at. And what a victory for St Johnstone. But what's this tweet saying?
I think Mark the Jambo sums up the Hearts feeling on social media quite well. The mess left by Levine, McPhee, Daly, Fox is going to take some sorting out, and Budge also needs to be held accountable for the mess that's been left. Feel sorry for Stendhal having to work with that mob.
There's a lot of that, Alex.
But the thing is, Stendhal knew what he was getting in for. I think it was 2 wins in 16 before the weekend. The form has been abysmal. They lack fight. And he knows that he's going into a club that's there's an apathy all over the place. You can see that with the fans at the moment.
You just wonder though, is it even bigger than what he thought? Do you know what I mean? He had 4 days training with him. I think he expected a little bit more. You know, he did say after, which was,
how often does a team respond when you get a new manager?
He said, but the players have been in such bad form. I know the Hibs one was slightly different. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But he said after that St Johnstone deserved to win the game. He said they had more attempts in goal. Tommy Wright went with pace up front.
He did.
The one thing Hearts don't have is pace at the back.
Well, see, the
and
thing
suddenly
is,
it changed the whole game.
You've obviously seen the footage like myself. When I seen them having such a high line against the flying machines, I'm thinking, what's going on here? Because it was like wave after wave at times.
And again, just to sum up, John, who's a big Jambo on Twitter, Stendhal is definitely man to take us forward. Unfortunately, he's inherited a team of charlatans. If he keeps us up, that is an achievement.
How does John know that Stendhal's the man to take them forward?
They're going on what they've heard so far.
Yeah.
This
It's hearsay then,
high-pressing,
isn't it?
fast, dynamic team. But
yeah, but if you've not got
does that work with this team? I was about to ask you, in fact, what do they need in January?
Well, they need a centre-half who can run. If you're going to play a high line, you're going to play a pressing game. You cannot have guys at the back who lack pace, because as you've seen at the weekend, time after time, Halloran and
Dre Wright and Matty Kennedy.
Kennedy,
But they also need pace all over the team. Because if you're defending at times, you don't have that ability to counter-attacking teams.
If you're going to high press, you need
Connor
runners.
Washington's out. Jake Mulroney is the only one with real pace in the team. John Souttar's out as well. But even bringing Washington and Souttar back in isn't going to make them dramatically this side who people fear. So he has got a lot of work to do. And I think that first tweet is hard to argue with. The fact that the mess that he's been left with. Hearts the size of the club they are, the investment they've made, everything else shouldn't be in that position.
No chance.
So when you're playing like that, who do you not want next? Celtic midweek, which is a massive game. I mean, in particular for Hearts, of course, Celtic need to keep on winning as well. But I mean, if that goes wrong, and I mean way wrong against Celtic, can you imagine it could turn again, Alex?
Yeah, well, listen, I think he'll be looking for some sort of response. But the last team you want is Celtic. You know, they're free flowing. You know, you get Edouard getting back up to speed as it's mad, and Christie may well come back in. Elyounoussi. So you've got all these guys to contend with.
Mikey
and I'll tell you one thing: if he tries to play a high line against Celtic, it could be serious. Yeah,
we've got some odds, Darryl. It might not shock you that there is no value in Celtic winning. They're 2-7 on to get the win at Tynecastle, 4-1 the draw. If you fancy a big upset, 17-2 for Hearts to win.
Piazzu, I know you're not his biggest fan anyway, but he's also missing. He's suspended for Hearts as well, so it takes another player out who's actually caused Celtic problems in the past.
Well, he has, and you know, we think back to we were at the game when they played Rangers early in the season. That was probably one of their best performances. You know, they raised their level of performance. They produced something that was out of character, and that's what we're going to have to do on Wednesday night. Produce something that they haven't produced for months. You know, do they have it in them? I'm not so sure they have.
No.
But missing the likes of Ucci, it gives them that physical presence, set plays that can maybe upset people. But
he was only on the bench at the weekend, but of course.
But let's be honest, his goal scoring record has been dreadful, hasn't it?
No, but he might help in that kind of a game. On to Aberdeen, who've won again at the weekend. Are their fans now happy?
Aberdeen won again, but I won't shock you, Darryl, they are not happy again. I don't really know what Derek McInnes has to do to get the fans on side, but Chubbs here on Twitter, this football is absolutely depressing. We really don't look any better than a woeful Hamilton team. So poor again. Glad that I didn't bother wasting my time going to town to watch.
You're all over this. Is that a theme? Is that widespread? The
mood on social media definitely has been against Derek McInnes pretty much all season. I actually hate saying it because I would say, personally, Aberdeen are favourites probably finished third. Yeah. You would have thought so, eh?
Yeah. Don't say that to Craigs.
Listen, he's absolutely right. They probably will finish third. I'll go out on a limb and say that.
So can you understand this reaction from the fans after another victory?
Well, listen, I think what they're actually talking about here is the actual brand of football they're watching. You know, it's tough at times. They're nicking 1-0s against a team which they think they should be beating comfortable, and with the personnel that they have, you know, they probably should be. But again, you have to give Brian Rice a wee bit of credit because they're firefighting in terms of the finances.
I watched the game. And I have to say it was fairly uninspiring.
Was it?
You know, once they got the goal, Hamilton were never going to get back in the game. Hamilton were never going to threaten Aberdeen. But it looked like Aberdeen didn't have that to go and kill the game off, make it 2-3.
Can you imagine then what their fans would be saying if they lose Sam Cosgrove? I think you've got some tweets for us on that very point.
Absolutely. I mean, Sam Cosgrove, how many is it now? Is it
19 goals this season.
David, let's sell him and have no goals. Obviously sarcastic. Jamie,
I hope so.
I would hope so as well. Where would we be without him? Cosgrove, keep McInnes in a job right now.
But the actual reality is, Derek McInnes brought Cosgrove.
He did.
Where's the credit from that?
He's turning around because but they can't afford to sell him, Alex, surely.
Well, absolutely, and I think with the position that they're in at the moment, Aberdeen, unless it was silly money.
What is silly money?
I would say maybe about 6, 7 million, 8 million.
No, I'd be surprised if someone would pay that for Sam Cosgrove. As influential as he has, you know, we're talking our top players in the league are going to go for 10, 12, 15. So I would be surprised. I mean, 3.5 million
was there any something along in selling him for that and giving the work to the
Dave
team?
Cormack's in. There's a lot of investment. Sam Cosgrove's in a long-term contract.
3.5 million?
3.5, 4 million.
Yeah, but so
max,
if it's 4 million, then there's a team will possibly pay more due to the fact if you look at the Championship results last week in terms of the financial results, teams are paying fortune for players just to get them out. And if you look at a Jordan Rhodes and things, it's like 14, 15 million.
Listen, it's a good point. It is a good point. On to St Mirren. What a comeback against Livingston. It was 3-1. And I think, again, the name that comes up when you put St Mirren in social media, Obika.
John Obika. Stuart Gillespie in the top tweet. John Obika's 5th goal of the season makes him St Mirren's most prolific number 9 since John Sutton. Got 7 league goals in 16-17.
I think that says a lot.
Would that be top flight goals?
I believe so.
It must be.
Yeah, it would be. Because I think
yeah.
surely in the Championship under Jack Ross, someone would have got more goals. Would have been centre forwards of Gavin Riley.
Yeah. The mood on social media though, Obika's definitely becoming a hero.
5 and 10 he's got, Daz. It's not bad form. And if
is that the only stat you have?
Well, listen, it's actually important to know. If it's one thing I've learnt after you get the stats out early doors.
Exactly.
It's interesting because they're scoring more, but they're conceding more as well, as reflected there.
Davey the Buddy in the bottom tweet there, that was a good point today considering we were 3-1 down. Felt sorry for young Glover, who's clearly not ready, but needs must. We need a centre-half back badly.
A lot of injuries. One other game at the weekend, a very important victory for Ross County. And the Kelly fans, if you're going to lose a late goal anywhere, don't make it be Dingwall. Well, what a disaster that is, that 4-hour plus drive.
Ross County also beat St Mirren with a late goal, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean that was a big result for them because they beat Hibs last week. Back-to-back wins in the bottom half just creates that little bit of a gap. 8 points above 11th place Hearts now, Ross County are. So it gives them that little bit of breathing space. But
They've got goal scorers in their team,
They
Craig,
have.
so it obviously gives them a fighting chance, particularly at home.
Yeah, absolutely right. Right, onwards. Scots down south, we always talk about every week. Duncan Ferguson, his name's come up a lot. After a great point at Old Trafford, I have to say it's not all positive though, for one major reason.
Absolutely. He subbed Moise Kean, who is a young 19-year-old striker they signed this summer from Juventus, highly rated. He brought him on and took him off 18 minutes later in the second half. And he, after the game, admitted it was just to waste a bit more time.
Yeah.
If you look at the tweet here from El Pivote, for me, if it was any other manager than Duncan Ferguson, they would have been raked over the hot coals for that sub.
In fairness, I think he has been raked over hot coals by a lot of people for that. Was it the wrong thing to do?
I think
Does
so.
it affect his chances of getting the job?
Yeah, I think that without doubt that it actually hampers the boy's development because he's actually killed him publicly at Old Trafford. And, you know, it wasn't good to watch either because he didn't even
But it's a
offer
test
a
of
hand.
character for a young man now.
No,
Listen, you've been there, you know, you've had setbacks in your career. If he thinks it was the right thing as the manager of that team at that time to bring him off and stay in the game or get a point, then he has to be justified. That's why he's in charge of the team.
The only thing, he could have given him maybe cuddle or something. See if you
shook his
watch it,
hand.
he just
ignores
back
it.
on him.
I think you could tell by his body language he wasn't happy.
See, going back to, I've actually been involved in a game where this actually happened when I was about 18. And we'd signed a trialist, and the manager, David Clark, put him on, and within 5 minutes took him back off. After the game, the guy was distraught. I mean, distraught as you can imagine. And David Clark's going round everybody individually, and he went, "And you, the guy that signed you should get sacked." And the wee guy just lifted his head and went, "You signed me."
But there was a lot of positive tweets as well. A lot of Everton fans are desperate for him to get the job. No wonder 4 points against Chelsea and Man United.
Absolutely. Colin Weir, just very quickly, Everton players would die for Duncan Ferguson, give him the job. Got some odds, Darryl.
Yes.
On the next manager. So David Moyes is currently the favourite at 5-4.
If he's 5-4 on, why have they not already got him? Because it sounds like he would want to come back, Alex.
Yeah, well, I think there was kind of people mooting that he may well come back and, you know, to take them to the summer just to see how it goes. A safe pair of hands. Ancelotti then became available, but going back to Duncan Ferguson, I actually love, see that when you see that emotion running down, lifting up, brilliant. Ball boys now, I love that, and I think they can identify with that. Passion.
Supporters like that because there's not enough of it. I think too many managers don't relate to the club, in it for the short term cash boost. He wants to be an Everton manager.
7-2 then, value maybe?
Absolutely.
Maybe good. Have you seen the thing of his watch?
Yes, I did.
Very quickly, he's wearing Howard Kendall's watch on the sidelines.
Is it alright? Okay.
Doesn't work, but he's wearing it. So
And the
it's nice.
sweatband as well, which means so much to make him
Nice
like a
touch.
kid
Yeah.
at the end of every game or when he feels
fabulous.
it's necessary. So he loves the club,
Great lad.
which is good to see. Other Scots who've done really well at the weekend. Interesting because Sheffield United beat Aston Villa.
Yep.
John Fleck got 2 goals. I think the reflection by many people is that John Fleck not really talked about in terms of 40-50 million pounds John McGinn is, and yet he overshadowed him.
Absolutely. And it's a couple of weeks running now that John Fleck has been outstanding for Sheffield United. Mike here, John Fleck better than John McGinn. I'll say it one last time. Mark Jones, John Fleck is up with the top 5 midfielders in the country, unplayable in days like today, and Sheffield United 5th in the Premier League tonight.
I mean, does he play for Scotland next time out? Can he get in the team?
Well, we always talk about levels in terms of trying to attract people who are playing at a very good level. Now, if you look at Aston Villa, you know, I'm not saying it's a replacement for McGinn, but they're 4th bottom of the league. John McGinn is actually, and he's done it the hard way because he's went to League One.
John Fleck, absolutely.
Went to League One Championship, and he's now there and he's delivering on a regular basis. I think it's encouraging because if we are struggling somewhere, he could quite easily go in there because he can handle the ball, which is important.
Well,
at that
Steve
level.
Clark will certainly be pleased, won't they? You know, McGinn and Kenny McLean playing at the weekend again. No, brilliant for them.
I'm just texting, but don't worry, continue. It's all part of the
No
show.
worries.
I promise you, it's related to the social club. Another player did really well, Ryan Fraser. But you've not heard a lot about him this season after all the assists, the goals we heard about last Premier League term. I think that's partly because Bournemouth are not playing all that well. But at Stamford Bridge,
Really good point here from William Pugh on Twitter. Ryan Fraser's been absolutely fantastic here at Stamford Bridge. Christian Pulisic, who's just been subbed off by Frank Lampard, could take a leaf or 6 out of his book. Sorry, I got there in the end. Christian Pulisic's cost, what, 50, 60 million?
50 million.
Yeah, something like that.
Absolutely.
And Fraser schooling him on his own turf.
and the positive thing is we need to beat him, have him at his very best form come March, and maybe this is him getting back to his best.
Yeah, without doubt. And actually, I like him. I've watched him develop through the Championship as well, and he's actually performing at a very good level. Whoever signs him in the summer is going to have a bargain because he's a free.
Yeah. Oh, is he available on a free?
He
He's
is,
a Bosman.
unless
is
he
he?
extends the contract. There's a
Yes.
bit of talk about that as well, but you never
Lip.
know. You never
You
know.
just think the frustrating thing is at times he hasn't replicated that form for Scotland. You always think there's more to come when he plays for Scotland. So again, Steve Clark will be looking for the likes of him to step up between now and March.
Fingers crossed.
I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to take you on to your Talking Boz treble, which was Talking Boz last week, really.
I think you're being polite.
What happened?
Okay, so what did we do last week? I went for, of course, Aberdeen to beat Hamilton, which came in.
Yeah.
That was alright.
Just.
Yeah.
Odds on. Yeah.
Just then Hearts to beat St Johnstone.
What?
I thought new manager Bounds thought they'd come in, blah blah blah. Yeah,
What
yeah.
chance you got?
Celtic v Hibs. I took both teams to score. Hibs, just my reasoning here. Hibs hadn't not scored since the 4th of September.
In a game, right? Okay.
So, but they didn't score at the weekend.
You blew that, and unfortunately, therefore, there was a forfeit. Now, this was pure pain, wasn't it?
Just very quickly, and over a bit short for time. I was out the night before. I wasn't told what I was doing. Christmas party,
And
all that.
a fitness test with Falkirk.
With Falkirk, the Falkirk first team: Lee Miller, David McCracken, Michael
Let's
Doyle.
have a look and a listen.
Here we go! 5, 6. Boom! Well done. Come on. Come on. You'll never lose again, eh? Oh. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Keep going. Then you get your rest. 20 seconds. Do you want a drink of water? Well, we don't have any, so you're going to have to wait. 15 seconds. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Hey, come on. Hey, we don't quit. Come on. You got a Falkirk tap on, you don't quit. Come on. If you've got a Falkirk tap on, you don't quit. Fish. On the way. On the way. Never on the way. 1. Come on. We're going to defib just in case. Just in case. Get it in. His legs have gone. We've got ropes, fluffies, and then a row to finish. Right, so you done set 1, set 2, couldn't do set 3.
Do you know what? Stretched on a tick. This is why my top says what it says, and I'm proud to be a loser.
My goodness me, that was absolutely brutal. When was the last time prior to that you did a bit of fitness?
Well, I know I'm built like a tank, Darryl. Obviously, that goes without saying, right?
What sermon time?
But it's just the endurance, you know what I mean, need to work on it a wee bit. But thanks to the guys for that.
Was it awful?
It was hell on earth, Darryl. It was really bad.
You were funny colour at the end. I wasn't too sure what the colour was. A bit of a mix, but
the defibrillator was there. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
The preparation, 15 pints at the Christmas party with a Vindaloo is no ideal.
No. 2 out of 3 challenges you completed. Are you going to go more than 2 out of 3 in the treble this week? Would you like to explain?
Absolutely, we've got another treble this week, and if anyone's planning any forfeits, there's no need, because this one is coming in. Right, my first choice in this week's treble is Rangers to beat Hibs at Easter Road. Now, I know Jack Ross has come in, Hibs look a little bit more solid under him, but Rangers away from home in the Ladbrokes Premiership this season are unbeaten, and I think that's going to keep going. Rangers to win in the capital. Now, next up, Celtic v Aberdeen. No surprise, I'm going to go for a Celtic win. In the Ladbrokes Premiership this season, they've won every single game at home. Aberdeen, very rocky away from home. It's a no-brainer, Celtic to win. And my final pick this week is Hamilton versus Hearts, and I'm going to go for a Hearts victory. I know that's a little bit out there given Hearts' form, but in the last 7 Ladbrokes Premiership matches, Hamilton have failed to win any of them. Daniel Stendel, new manager Bounds, he's going to get his first win. You put all 3 together, normally it'd be 13-5, but the good guys at Ladbrokes are boosting it to 3-1. You can't afford not to get involved in this. Back it, back me, it's coming in.
So what are the chances? When you heard what he was saying there, I think when I said Hamilton Hearts, and you backed Hearts to win at Hamilton, what's your reaction? What's your response? Do you like that treble?
First, I think the old firm, you understand that he's went a little bit safe, but he maybe have gone a little bit risky with Hearts. Hamilton was 11 games without a win.
Yeah.
So that could be a risky one.
I've just feel Hearts have got to win eventually. I know it's not a very scientific approach.
Hamilton.
Aye, that's true, Craig.
I know, thanks.
And Hearts have got that tough match during the week. Shall we look at the rest of the fixtures next weekend?
Absolutely.
As we've already said, our game of the week, Hibs against Rangers, is the Friday night. There's a couple here on Saturday. They stand out like a sore thumb, don't they? When you look at Hamilton Hearts and also St Johnstone St Mirren, huge games in the basement, Alex.
Yeah, without doubt. I think obviously Celtic will be looking to continue against Aberdeen with a fine home form. Hamilton, as Craig says, they need to get a win from somewhere, but the significance of this, whoever gets the 3 points, they're going to be languished, one of these 2 teams at the bottom.
It's funny, look at the bottom 4 fixtures. Hamilton Hearts are joint. Kilmarnock are just behind Motherwell. Livingston Ross County, I think Livingston's a point behind Ross County.
Yeah.
And St Johnstone's at Mirren are close, as well. So there's something to play for in every game.
Tough ones to
and all the managers will be saying, if we can win this one against our direct opponents who are challenging close to us, it can maybe catapult on.
Good value. Livingston evens at home on that plastic pitch against Ross County.
And Celtic Aberdeen, a lot of fans will be watching Aberdeen closely after what they did against Rangers last time. Can they repeat that and get something against Celtic at Celtic Park?
Not for me.
No.
They don't travel to
8-1.
They don't travel to Glasgow particularly well, and you look at Celtic's home form. They haven't dropped a point. They've been formidable. I can't see anything other than a home win there.
Finally, the 1-2 free bet.
Lovely.
1-2
Some
free
big
bet.
games involved this time.
Absolutely. So we have Manchester City versus Leicester, which is a huge game. We also have Tottenham, Chelsea, and Watford versus Manchester United.
Master v Apprentice.
Absolutely.
Spurs v Chelsea.
So correct scores. One correct score gets you £1 free bet. Two correct scores gets you a fiver. Three, £100 cash.
I won't ask you the scores because you can't remember the games, let's be honest. Can you?
This is true. I can't believe they've not put them up.
So you don't get it wrong again. We are out of time. Thank you very much indeed. Don't forget you can get involved with us on the hashtag Ladbrokes Social Club. Send in all your questions or your points about any of these three. Thank you very much. See you next week.